Hey, Suze.
Hey, man.
So I made some profiles
Okay.
of a pedal that people...
Just a pedal?
Just a pedal. Well, there was an amp, too.
Okay.
But I thought it would be really cool because it's a pedal that I'm super fond of, and it sounds great. And someone requested after the last match pack, the Match Avenge, they were like, why don't... how come you didn't include like profiles of this pedal? And I was like, I don't know, just there's a lot of gear around here.
Sure, yeah.
So I went back and I made 7 free profiles that I think cover this pedal and like kind of how I think it sounds best.
Free for just that guy, though.
No, free for everyone.
The whole world.
The whole world.
Wow.
Free for the whole world.
You're the man.
Thank you, man. And the pedal is.
Is it the Browne Protein? The Browne Protein!
Yeah, it's kind of my favorite drive at the moment.
Wow.
And it's really cool. It's really awesome. So it's got like the Blues Breaker side, and it's got the ODR1 side, and it's got them, and then kind of they do a thing where they're both together.
Okay.
So 7 profiles. We're calling these the Brownie profiles. Lovingly,
Clever.
It's the Brownie profiles. Now look, pedals have no sound. So I put these through the Match Event. Now I went and profiled the Match Avenge again. I just made this clean platform. So I just dialed the amp in, set up the mics. I dialed it in to just where I went, this sounds good with pedals. And that profile sounds, play for us, it sounds like this.
Oh, nice.
It just sounds clean, it's nice.
What speaker are we listening to?
This is just the H30 speaker. So the more traditional side of the matchless stuff. No, Alnico 10 speakers or anything like that.
Sure, okay.
So just the H30 speaker. It's the same speaker you would get with any 112 match amp. It would come with this speaker.
Okay.
So we've got the clean one. Now we've got, let's see what these Brownie profiles do well. I've got the other match profiles in here because I've got the full match pack on here, Match Avenge pack on here. Here is B1. Now this is just a little bit of drive, not much, but just sort of, that was clean. This is a little dirtier. Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Little Blues
Nice
Breaker
little crunch,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Here is the green side, the ODR1 side. So it's that clean sound with some drive, but pushing the front end of that amp a bit more. This is kind of how the country guys use it in Nashville's favorite pedal. A little mid-rangey, a little bit compressed.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of what you want for like a lead boost. You know what I mean? So, but that's not very dirty at all.
Right.
So that's sort of a cleanish lead. Those two stacked together, same settings as they are individually, stacked together. So it's like you have the pedal in that setting. It's set up for B1 and G1. Now it's B and G1, blue and green 1.
That sounds great.
Yeah, not bad.
Really cool.
You could line those up on a performance, and that's how I would run the pedal, really.
It's just 3 switches, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and I like it for kind of those lower gain settings. I think that's what it does really well. And then I think for more gain, I would get this B and G out of here.
Oh,
but
cool.
I did another profile. I did another set of the profile. Like I set up the pedal with just more gain on each one. So here's the second Blues Breaker side. And it sounds like, where is it? Here it is. And it sounds like this. Here's B2. So it's just the Blues Breaker side, but with a little more gain than the first one.
rock and roll.
It's pretty rock and roll.
Yeah.
But it's not overly aggressive. You know what I mean? It's not.
And that's on the humbucker too. That last time.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we've got G2. I just added more gain, kind of kept the same amount of boost. And this is just if you wanted a more aggressive boost with just the ODR one side.
Okay.
So kind of compressed green thing. ODR ones are like the other green pedal.
Right.
They're not overly compressed like a Tube Screamer, but they do a mid-range thing. You know, there's a flavor you get, and this is what I really like about this pedal. It's a good amp. It's a good amp.
Yeah.
But there is sort of just a clean clarity to this pedal, where even with gain, it's shallow on the bottom end. And because I'm using a brighter sound, bass sound, to me they're easy to listen to.
Yeah.
They're easy to hear. They never get bloated. They never get too much.
Right.
Or
harsh.
Yeah. Amps do that, right? Amps get congested. Pedals have the advantage of when you're pushing a kind of a cleaner amp. I think you have an easier time not always getting bloated because amps want to give up a lot of bass when they get really hot and going.
Right.
You really have to pull the bass back to keep them sounding sort of clear, you know what I mean? But with a nice clean amp, you sort of it's a little easier to get a nice clean gain out of it. You know, you don't have all that extra bass slamming in the front end.
Yeah. So this amp stayed at the same settings for all of them.
It's that Match Avenge clean profile, and it's not in the Match Avenge pack. It's just here.
Okay.
And now it's probably very similar. It's somewhere right between H2 and H3, I think, in that pack. But I didn't record the exact settings and then copy them. I just dialed it into sound kind of how I liked it.
Also, did we say these are free?
They're 100% free. There's 7 free profiles of my favorite pedal and an absolutely killer amp that's like, you know, over $2,000. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mic'd up with a Royer and a 57, and I pulled them back. I mean, it's the whole deal. But they're just free because I know a lot of people like this pedal, and you know, this is just I'm just putting together sounds with gear sometimes.
Right.
And I was like, this sounds great. I don't want to take this down, but I have to profile other amps, so I've got to start moving things. So I thought, let me just profile these.
Right.
So that I have
before
them.
I move on.
Yeah, and then I just figured they should see the light of day. Here's B and G2, so both of those upper gain settings.
Dude, that's really cool.
Isn't it?
And that was the, in-between position?
Yeah. Now, to me, this thing sounds like this pedal with this amp. Like, this is how I would use this pedal. You could, of course, make adjustments to the EQ. You could make adjustments to the compression and everything and sort of get, you can adjust the EQ and everything. What's cool about this is when you bake pedals into a profile, it sort of just becomes one thing. You know, we were talking about this earlier. Do they sound exactly the same as if I just put this Browne Protein in front of one of those? Maybe not. We'll get to that in another video probably. But these are just really great sounding things. You know, I did a similar thing, and I didn't really make any videos on it, and I really should. But there's something in the free pack called HW's Deluxe Tone Project, where I just took like a deluxe reverb, put it into a matchless cab, ran, and I didn't even tell you what gear I was running. I just called them pushed, edge of breakup, overdriven. And it's sort of just how I think about sounds. These are a little bit how I think about sounds. Clean, edge of breakup, kind of overdrive, something I know is going to sound beautiful with a Strat. And then like a pushed, mid-rangey sound that's going to be a nice light lead for when I need to have a cleaner guitar, but it needs to pop out with a lead line. Then, more dirty. And that would be, the second blues breaker here, B2. And then push that with the green thing as well, and
Right.
that's your bigger lead sound. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And to me, that gives you everything. It's like clean, light overdrive, some rock, lead.
Yeah.
You know?
And can I say, this also solves a problem, too, that I have with my protein, is that sometimes when I stack the two sides, I don't want the two sides to be like they would be if they weren't stacked, you know? And so, like, for instance, this I might run, B2 and G2, but then run B and G1. You know, go back to the lower gain one because they're stacked. Yeah. And you can't do that with an
That's
analog
true.
pedal,
You're locked into the settings you have on the pedal.
Yeah.
You'd need 2 Browne Protein drives.
There's an idea.
There is a good idea.
Is that a height board?
That would be a height board thing. Now here's the thing. I'm telling everybody the Browne Protein Drive is a pedal you should really check out and get.
Yeah.
To me, King of Tone, Browne Protein Drive, 2 of the best pedals out there in terms of pedals. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of great pedals, but those 2, I can't decide which I like better. If you have a Kemper and you want to try some of these flavors, here's, you know, a pet. Here's those kind of how I would run that pedal into a match Avenge. But you should get that pedal and try it into all sorts of different profiles, all sorts of different amps, because it loves everything. I love it into Fender amps. I love it into everything I try.
Yeah, I heard yours and went and bought one.
It really is like.
They're great.
I don't often get very excited about pedals. Like before this, the King of Tone had sort of cured me.
Yeah.
And I either play the King of Tone or profiles of a King of Tone into an AC30 every week. But this is the only pedal that has ever gotten close to like, ooh, I think I like this more.
That's killer.
So consider that a big Tone Junkie endorsement. And go get these profiles because guess how much they cost?
Are they $5?
No.
Are they free? They're not free, are they?
They're free. They're free. Wow. So go get them because they're free. I've been HW.
I'm Suze.
Thanks so much, guys. Suze, why don't you play us out on this this overly saturated, stacked up sound?